The old Victorian house stood on a hill overlooking the quiet town of Havenwood, its shadowed windows whispering tales of a bygone era. For generations, the Caldwell family had resided within its walls, their legacy intertwined with the town's history. But now only Eleanor Caldwell remained, a woman in her late 70s, her silver hair a testament to the passage of time. Eleanor's life was simple, marked by the gentle rhythm of her garden and the comforting presence of her memories. One heirloom, a delicate silver locket passed down through her family, held a special place in her heart. It wasn't just jewelry. It was a tangible link to her ancestors, a symbol of her family's enduring love. One crisp autumn morning, Eleanor discovered the locket was gone. Her heart pounded in her chest, a cold dread creeping into her bones. It wasn't just the loss of a precious object. It was the violation of her sanctuary, the shattering of her peace. The small-town police, led by the affable Sheriff Brody, were sympathetic but skeptical. "Perhaps it was misplaced, Mrs. Caldwell," he suggested, his voice gentle. But Eleanor knew it wasn't. She remembered placing it in its velvet-lined box the night before. Suspicion fell on a new gardener, a young man named Jake, who had been working on the grounds recently. He was quiet, kept to himself, and had a troubled look in his eyes. Sheriff Brody questioned him, but Jake's alibi seemed solid. He had been at the local diner all morning. Eleanor, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The locket wasn't just a valuable item. It held a secret, a hidden message passed down through generations. Her grandmother had always whispered stories about a hidden compartment, a secret that could change the fate of the Caldwell family. As the days turned into nights, Eleanor found herself haunted by the missing locket. She spent her evenings poring over old family documents, searching for clues, for any hint of the locket's secret. She felt a growing sense of isolation, a feeling that she was alone in her quest. One stormy night, as the wind howled outside, Eleanor heard a soft tapping at her window. She cautiously approached, her heart pounding in her chest. Outside, a figure stood in the rain, their face obscured by a hooded coat. It was Jake, the gardener. He looked frantic, his eyes wide with fear. "Mrs. Caldwell, I need to talk to you," he said, his voice barely audible above the wind. "I know who took the locket." He confessed that he had witnessed a late-night visitor at the Caldwell house, a shadowy figure who had slipped through the back gate. He had been too scared to intervene, but he had recognized the figure. It was Arthur Finch, a local antique dealer known for his shady dealings. Arthur Finch was a man of wealth and influence, a pillar of the community. He was also Eleanor's distant cousin, a man she had always trusted. The revelation sent a wave of disbelief through her. Sheriff Brody, initially reluctant to believe Jake's story, agreed to investigate. A search warrant was issued for Arthur Finch's antique shop. Inside, hidden behind a false wall, they found the locket. But that wasn't all. They also found a collection of other stolen heirlooms, items that had mysteriously disappeared from other homes in Havenwood. Arthur Finch's carefully constructed facade began to crumble. The locket, when examined closely, revealed the hidden compartment Eleanor's grandmother had spoken of. Inside, they found a small, folded piece of paper. It was a letter, written in her great-grandfather's handwriting, detailing a hidden treasure, a cache of gold coins buried somewhere on the Caldwell property. The discovery shifted the power dynamics of Havenwood. Arthur Finch, the respected antique dealer, was exposed as a thief, his reputation shattered. Eleanor, the quiet, unassuming widow, was now the center of attention, the keeper of a valuable secret. The town buzzed with excitement, the search for the hidden treasure becoming a local obsession. Arthur Finch, facing charges of theft and fraud, tried to negotiate a deal, offering to reveal the location of the treasure in exchange for leniency. But Eleanor, remembering her grandmother's words, refused. "Some secrets are not meant to be sold," she said, her voice firm. "They are meant to be cherished." She decided to keep the letter's contents private, choosing to honor her family's legacy rather than succumb to greed. The treasure, she realized, wasn't the gold coins. It was the story, the connection to her ancestors, the enduring strength of her family's bond. The revelation of Arthur Finch's crimes brought a sense of justice to Havenwood. The townspeople, once blinded by his wealth and influence, saw him for who he truly was. Eleanor, once seen as a fragile old woman, was now admired for her strength and wisdom. The lesson was clear. True wealth wasn't measured in gold or possessions. It was found in integrity, in family, in the enduring power of truth. Eleanor learned that even in the quietest of lives, courage and resilience could shine brightly. As autumn turned to winter, and the first snow blanketed Havenwood, Eleanor found a sense of peace. The missing locket, once a symbol of loss, was now a reminder of her strength, her connection to her past. One evening, as she sat by the fire, a soft knock came at her door. It was Jake, the gardener. He looked different, his eyes clear, his face filled with gratitude. "Mrs. Caldwell," he said, his voice sincere, "I wanted to thank you. You believed in me when no one else did." He handed her a small wooden box. Inside, nestled in velvet, was a single tarnished silver coin. "I found this while working in the garden," he said. "I thought it might be part of your family's treasure." Eleanor's heart skipped a beat. She recognized the coin. It was identical to the ones described in her great-grandfather's letter. But there was something else, a faint inscription on the coin's edge. She held the coin closer to the firelight, her eyes widening in surprise. The inscription wasn't just a random pattern. It was a map, a detailed map of the Caldwell property, marked with a single red X. Jake, unaware of the map's significance, smiled. "I hope it brings you good fortune, Mrs. Caldwell." He turned to leave, but Eleanor stopped him. "Jake," she said, her voice trembling, "you've given me more than good fortune. You've given me a new beginning." She looked at the map, her mind racing. The treasure wasn't just buried. It was hidden, carefully concealed, waiting to be discovered. And she knew, with a certainty that sent a shiver down her spine, that she wasn't the only one who knew about the map. The crisp autumn air crackled with anticipation as Eleanor, clutching the ancient map, ventured into the depths of her sprawling garden. The red X, a stark crimson mark against the parchment, beckoned her towards a forgotten corner, a secluded grove of ancient oaks where the sunlight struggled to penetrate. As she approached the designated spot, a shiver ran down her spine. The air grew heavy, a sense of foreboding settling over her. The tranquility of the garden seemed to vanish, replaced by an unsettling stillness. With trembling hands, she began to dig, the earth yielding beneath her shovel with surprising ease. Deeper and deeper she dug, the silence broken only by the rhythmic thud of the shovel against the soil. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Just as her resolve began to falter, the shovel struck something solid. She brushed away the dirt, revealing a heavy wooden chest, its surface encrusted with moss and grime. Eleanor's breath hitched. This was it, the culmination of weeks of suspense, of whispered secrets and hidden truths. With trembling hands, she pried open the chest. Inside, nestled amongst layers of dampened cloth, lay a treasure trove of gold coins, glittering in the fading light. But it wasn't the gold that captivated her. Tucked beneath the coins, she found a small, leather-bound journal, its pages filled with elegant script. The journal belonged to her great-grandfather, the author of the hidden map. It detailed his life, his travels, his encounters with extraordinary individuals and events. But there was more. Interspersed throughout the journal were cryptic entries, references to a secret society, a brotherhood of scholars and mystics who guarded ancient knowledge. The journal spoke of a hidden library, a repository of forbidden knowledge, located somewhere beneath the Caldwell estate. It mentioned a key, a symbol of power, that granted access to this hidden realm. Eleanor's heart pounded with a mixture of excitement and fear. The treasure hunt, she realized, was just the beginning. The Caldwell family was entangled in a mystery far deeper than she ever imagined. As she read further, she discovered that her great-grandfather had been initiated into this secret society, entrusted with the responsibility of guarding the entrance to the hidden library. The locket, the one that had started this entire chain of events, was not just a family heirloom. It was the key, the symbol of her lineage, the key that unlocked the door to the hidden realm. A wave of dizziness washed over her. The weight of this newfound knowledge, the responsibility that came with it, was overwhelming. She was no longer just Eleanor Caldwell, the widow living a quiet life in a small town. She was the keeper of a secret, the guardian of a hidden legacy. That night, as she slept, she dreamt of swirling vortexes and ancient beings, of whispers in the wind and the chilling gaze of unseen eyes. She dreamt of the Weaver, his face contorted in a silent scream, his eyes filled with a malevolent light. The dream, vivid and terrifying, woke her with a start. She looked around her room, her heart pounding. The events of the past few weeks had taken a toll on her, leaving her feeling vulnerable, exposed. She knew she couldn't face this alone. She needed help, someone who understood the magnitude of what she had discovered. She thought of Agent Davies, the FBI agent who had helped her during the Circle investigation. He was a man of integrity, a man who had seen the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of society. The next morning, she contacted Agent Davies, her voice trembling. "I need your help," she said, her words barely audible. "I think I found something far more dangerous than we ever imagined." Agent Davies, intrigued by her urgency, agreed to meet with her. He arrived at her house later that afternoon, his face etched with concern. As Eleanor recounted her discovery, the hidden library, the ancient society, the chilling dream, his eyes narrowed. "This is bigger than we thought," he said, his voice grave. "This goes beyond a local cult. This is something ancient, something powerful." He looked at the locket, then at the map, his mind racing. "We need to investigate further," he said. "We need to find out more about this society, about its history, its goals." Eleanor, feeling a surge of relief at his support, knew they had a long road ahead. The discovery of the hidden treasure had opened a Pandora's box, unleashing a chain of events that could change their lives forever. The shadows of the past were stirring, and the fight for truth and justice was far from over.